Well, here we are again. Surprise, surprise, ready to do another painting. This time, a 1950s one again, because I'm finishing off this London series. I hope I can do it within 3 or 4 paintings now. I think I've had enough by then, before I pop off to France. Get this out of the way. I've been enjoying them as well. It's been quite refreshing to work in so many different ways with the tonal work and the more sort of sepia, black and white old photograph work, through to the retro work, which I'm doing now a bit more, and the more impressionist pieces, the last ones, the smaller ones, where it's almost a Monet scene of the misty shapes of towers and so on in the background. This time we're doing the ice cream one, the ice cream van, 50s ice cream van children play. Quite a complicated one actually, because I mean, even the drawing itself was quite complicated and working out where the children and so on were going on. We need to simplify it, but I also want to keep that retro look. I don't want to do a black and white photograph. I don't want it to be, you know, a photograph. I don't want it to be a colour painting. I'm going to, I think, start with the rollers on this, work up this whole scene with the sponge rollers again, and then work up details, probably with the flats. And keep it as simple as I can. I want to keep some nice blocked brushstrokes and thicker paint if possible, but we'll just see how it goes. I mean, it was like that one with the station the other week, with the children, the train watchers. It'll be similar to that one, I suspect. Anyway, if you want to follow this one and enjoy it with me, here we go again. Okay, let's make a start on this. I'm not priming the board at all, it's just MDF. It is possible to work straight onto the MDF because it's got a resin in the board when it's made, compressed. And it will take the paint quite well. So although it's nice to have a plain surface, if you wanted this slightly brown surface like cardboard, it can be quite fun. So let's work onto that straight away. I'm going to mix up a light blue at first. Which brush shall I use? I have a nice big chunky one for this. So I'm going to use a nice big filbert to mix the paint before I use the roller. And I guess I want a sort of broken colour effect again, so I'll take some cerulean, a bit of white. Using my main colours again today, I'm going to use the heavy bodies again. Here we go then. Let's work around my shapes. Come backwards and forwards onto these shapes. In other words, I can put the darks on the lights and I put the lights on the darks and so on and work around everything. If you've mixed a colour and it's on your brush or on your roller or whatever it is, use it wherever it's going to be needed. Don't just paint that part, then wash your brush or roller and go and do something else. If it's somewhere else at the same time, don't waste your energies and the materials. Paint it in. So if this light blue is anywhere else, then I want to paint it in. So I'm going to put 2 coats on as they dry. And I'm going to put more than 2 coats on, in fact, because I'm going to overpaint this with broken colour. In other words, I'm going to use other colours over the top. I'm just going to make it a little bit more yellow for them, to reflect that light a little bit more. So I'm adding a bit of lemon yellow to it and some more white. I'm going to bring some purple over that later, or very light mauve. But let's just get this colour onto the roof first to reflect the sky, to reflect the light. And I'm going to bring this colour across that sky later as well. So it's a nice quick way to work. Then we're going to get this whole roof in and a base coat onto here. So it's going to be a standard painting, but it's going to have a sort of retro feel to it, of a Kodak photo, which tend to be a little bit yellowed. Watch Kodak films, the old cowboys and so on, you notice the sort of gold quality to them. They tend to lean towards the yellows, not quite into the sepias, but certainly towards the yellows. Now, I want this to start acting as a broken colour. I can start to bring it over the surface of this painting, look. And it starts to break into and give a lovely atmosphere across here. You can still see the difference between them. I want to go creamer still on the roof. So I'm going to take some more lemon yellow and white. Really go quite cream on this now. You may even still take this colour over the sky yet as well to get more of a glow going. This is just another tool. I love using brushes, yes of course I do. This is just another tool to use like a brush. It's not the be and end all. And actually, I can use that same colour across here into the ice cream van. And even just by leaving the board showing, you start to get a picture appearing. And perhaps in the windows too. You've got some reflections going on. And it's going to happen right the way through here as well, but I may have to do this more with a sponge. I'm just going to put a thin coating on now to experiment with this. If I go wrong, I just go over it again, there's no big deal. But I want to run over the roof a bit to get the feeling of these slates, purple slates against here. Now hopefully if I start to use this at the same angle as the roof, I can start to get the feeling of, and try this, get the feeling of the angle of the slates coming up. So the angle of the shadows and the perspective. You can see how the paint is sinking in. That's useful to me, because all I want at the moment is to get the basic effects of light. I'm going to go much darker, take some burnt sienna now, and really start to darken down, quickly darken down these dark areas that I want. So I'm taking purple and brown, purple and burnt sienna, mix my folder into that and see what effects we get with that, whether I get the right sort of reddish. It's almost there, to really paint out this MDF now and lose the MDF. Pick up on all of these details afterwards, just get rid of the board for the moment, and even as that comes across the roofs, warmth comes into the roof as well. It's all experimental, so I'm the same as you. I have no idea how well it's going to work. All I do is work on it, and it helps us to give a nice coherence to the painting. In other words, one colour over another. Darks along here in the back, behind the people. So we've got to repaint some of it, but we're getting into these tones, which is so important. And this is a technique that I was using on those cafe scenes I've done in the past. It's a lovely way of using the roller. There's lovely effects we can get. I hope you agree they are anyway. Gives you that lovely misty quality. All these lovely effects we can get with the roller first. Well, I've done the basic effects now with the underpainting of the roller. Now I want to start the details and pulling it out with the brush. Well, I've got all the basics done on this now, and what I want to do is just, it's a bit scattered. I need to bring out some of these areas a little more. I think I may just enhance that a fraction, but I've got to put a focal point around here, bring out this young lady here. So we'll go back to, I don't want to make that too strong there, but just a wee bit stronger. So we'll just plonk a little bit of glazes onto there, just to warm it up a little bit more in places, if it's possible. So I want to make that quite a nice strong colour. Let's have a look at what we haven't yet used. We haven't used turquoise at all, and maybe if we use a colour we haven't used so much, that might be useful, because it will stand out. If not quite like a sore thumb, it will stand out. Try and pick her out a bit there. Take a bit of chrome yellow orange there. Now I'm just, again, just coming there with a wee bit more colour on her. Just to bring her out a bit more there. And down here, her arms too. Maybe we need a bit of blue there yet, just bring that up. And leads the eye across there is my idea. Because the composition is rather spread out and split. On the actual photograph this is a bit closer. Because I've got a longer board, I've tended to spread it out a bit, which is not really helping that much. Yes, let's concentrate on this group here. Just that bit more. And back to here again, so we can start to balance the other way again a bit. Hard to know, sometimes just when to quite finish, but we've got to be nearly there. This is a matter of these last few marks making it or not making it, as the case may be. Okay, so what is it that's needed, but something is still not quite working. So close and yet so far, we're nearly there, not quite making it. Just to lead the eye in more here maybe. I still need to put a bit more warmth on these faces. So let's try that and see what happens here. I think that's more it. We're nearly there now. Maybe it's not just warmth that's needed, because sometimes if we do the opposites it could play better as well. So let's just try a little bit of blue into here, just to see if that makes the warms warmer around it. Yes, that's playing this up a bit more. It takes the eye across there much better now. I'll put a little bit of blue into some of these areas too, just to balance it a fraction, but most of it wants to be over into here. Very difficult when you get painting at this stage. You can't quite see what it is that's not working. Just bring it into, try and pick out a few more slates, because that will link it, this pink will link it with the base more. So it's a matter of where to sign. Yet again we come back to that old question, the old chestnut, where do we sign it? Just going to get this last shape just right here, just to catch the feeling of her nose and mouth. But what I think I might do is actually sign it on the left this time, with a nice big signature. Brought down to its knees, hopefully, by using the rollers. We'll tidy up. Take a close look at it now.